And welcome back. It's now 8 minutes away from 7 o'clock, and I promised before the break, we're sitting down to have a conversation about trade and investment opportunities in Central America. And we are joined by the General Director of Trade Promotion Office for Central America, Itzam Hewlett.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your background first, as someone involved in trade, and how did you choose that career?
Well, in business administration, my background is business administration and international trade. I started out in sales, marketing, then I got involved in the commercial as a commercial manager for Levi's stores in Central America. And then I went ahead and got hired by the Trade Promotion Office of Costa Rica to promote trade for Dominican Republic. That was my first position in 2001. I have about 15 years of been working with Procomer, which is the trade office of Costa Rica. From there, I went to Canada, where I worked for about maybe 10 years. And 2 years ago, they brought me back to Costa Rica to promote Costa Rican products in Central America.
Let's talk about that. I think, obviously, specifically for Belize, when we're talking about looking at trade opportunities, very often we look outwards towards the Caribbean, towards the north, and not as much emphasis on Central America. What's unique about the Central American market?
Well, Central America has been a market that has been growing for Costa Rica. It's the second largest, or the second region of importance for our exports. And so 24% of our exports go to Central America. And so because Belize is located geographically, I understand you're part of Commonwealth and you look out to the Caribbean, but logistically, you're still in Central America. And there's certain advantages that you can take in account in distance, in bringing in container loads by sea or by land is very short. And so there are certain advantages in cost and time for different products, if it's perishable or not, or you need, because there's a big events and you need products fast enough to have them in the supermarkets, then you can bring it in fast enough from countries like Costa Rica. So it becomes very important for the region, for Costa Rica, to be able to be present in Belize and Central America. So
one of the main barriers people have often looked at is the language. Is it really a barrier? And how does that impact trade?
For Costa Rica, it isn't. Our country, it has a very high education in English, and our president wants to create Costa Rica the first country in Central America to be 100% bilingual. And so we're trying to work with that. English is taught not only in private schools, but also public schools, so it's widely taught. So we wouldn't think it's a barrier. It is an issue when you start going into markets like the US or Canada. So there is certain parts that they have to be fluent in English, but they can still trade. And so there's still a lot of opportunities. Our organization helps a lot the Costa Rican exporters. Just to give you a background of the institution where I work for. And we try to help out in different programs to train our exporters and our producers to be able to create exporters into. We have different programs in teaching and informing them about the different barriers there are to go into different countries. So we help them with that. We are part of the Ministry of Trade, so we also look at the other way around. If there's like Belize companies that want to enter products into Costa Rica, we have different agreements with the Chamber of Commerce and the Association of Importers in Costa Rica that we can help to set up business agendas or commercial missions in Costa Rica also.
With your experience, for example, what has been perhaps the biggest challenge in Belize? One of the things in terms of the standards that are set, when you start moving into other markets, you have the challenges of meeting the requirements for those markets. What is that transition like, and what has the journey been like for Costa Ricans who want to penetrate other markets? Is it a similar challenge?
It is a challenge because Belize hasn't been traditionally a market that Costa Ricans have been looking at. We only export about $11 million per year, other than other Central American markets, which is in the range of $300 to $400 million per year. It is a smaller market, we understand that, but it is also a market for a lot of the tourism that comes in, and there are hotels that have needs of different products, foods for food service, restaurants that can be having some opportunities to buy from countries like Costa Rica. So it is a challenge and it is an opportunity for our people to be able to enter a market like Belize. So we are conscious of that, and as an institution we want to promote this, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
We have different events like I'm seeing in the background some of the pictures that we have from our organization. There is an event that's called the Buyers Trade Mission, and this is going to be held on September, and it is an opportunity for Belize importers and distributors to go down to Costa Rica and see what we can offer. So this is a great opportunity. Is from the 26th to the 29th of September.
Now, you also had a presentation that you made yesterday.
Yes.
On doing business in Costa Rica. What was the response that you got from those who were there in terms of the level of interest?
It's very high. The ambassador of Costa Rica has helped a lot in the promotion of trade here in Belize. He has a heart with Belize. He loves Belize, and he is his second term, I believe, that he came here. And he always asked the government of Costa Rica, send me to Belize. So he's going to be coming in all the time to Belize, and we're happy with that because we have an ally that understands the language of the Belize people, and this is what we need. We don't want to just come and offer products. We want to do business with Belize, and so this is what we're looking at, long-term relationships. And the response yesterday was very good. The people, the companies do have interest in dealing with Costa Rican companies. So we, on our side, have to train our people to be able to have the requirements, the labeling, English language in their labeling, and having everything in place so that the products can be entered in a successful way.
From your own analysis, what are some of the opportunities that do exist that are not being accessed?
I believe the food industry would be one of the biggest because of the tourism that comes in, the hotels, the restaurants. They always need the food. That
processed
food
or produce?
Processed is what we're aiming for.
Okay.
Now, if it's produce, and I believe Belize has very rich land to produce, and so we don't want to just come in and compete and not be successful. So we look at the needs that might be in place, and what I think is if there's imports coming in from Europe, from the US, why not from a country like Costa Rica? We do have the quality. We do have the companies that look at the food service directly, and so that's what we're looking at. That's what we're aiming.
Yeah.
There are other products in the construction area. There are projects also of companies like Saret and other ones in Costa Rica that make big infrastructure that have been able to do certain projects in Central America could be a possibility in Belize. I understand there's a lot of investments and construction. The country is growing, right? And so there might be opportunities there, but in the immediate interest is in the food industry.
Okay.
And in terms of, we're talking in particular about products, but what about services?
Sure.
What are some of the areas that you're looking at in terms of services?
Well, Costa Rica has a big cluster or sector in the services area. We do have a lot of the animation, digital animation companies in Costa Rica that have been able to do some outsourcing and do some projects even to North American markets. And so we do compete with India. India has been very successful in that part, in animation and software and developers. So Costa Rica is very strong in that area. So that could be a possibility. There's also in services, the back office and call centers that can be also put in place. There's other specific companies. For example, there's a company that works with buildings, intelligent buildings that go into sensors, and even, for example, a lot of companies will have certain things as an asset and they'll have to look at the number and count it. Well, this company puts in like a little chip in to be able to identify the asset, and just with being in one room and just scanning it, just right there, you will have it in less than a minute.
Yeah.
And so all these services Costa Rican companies are working on, and so there are opportunities in services. That's an interesting sector.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier tourism, and we had the opportunity to visit and look at the profile, the tourism product that you offer, and also the profile. Very similar to Belize. Are there opportunities there for collaboration
Sure.
as well?
Yes, our country is very open. This is what has been a lot of the background that we have as a country. We're open to trade. We're open in collaboration. Our organizations, like our main organization, Procomer, we have had people from the chambers of commerce from different Central American countries come in Costa Rica and see what we do, how we do it, even paperwork. We offer it there. We don't see any competition. We see collaboration. We believe the region, for example, we talk a lot about the balance of trade. If we export more than we import, we don't look at that. We look at trade in general because we want the region to grow. Tourism is a big industry here in Belize, and for sure we have a lot to learn from you, and we can maybe show something of what we do in Costa Rica. So yes, there would be collaboration. It's not into my responsibility, but I'm sure the Institute of Tourism will be open for collaboration in that area. Yes.
So given the engagement that you've had on this particular trip, is it essentially going back now to Costa Rica and ensuring that you make the right links for the needs that have been identified by Belize at this point in time?
Yes, the mission of coming here to Costa Rica is first working with the ambassador, with the embassy, so that the embassy can be point of contact with Belize companies. So any company interested in doing trade, any type of trade, import, export, franchising, investment, they can come into the embassy of Costa Rica. They will be working with us in that area from now on, and so that's a really nice agreement that we have that would be in favor for Belize and for Costa Rica. So that's one part. The other part was to make the right contacts with importers that I had here in Belize. I did visit some of the companies, and we had an event yesterday, and we have a breakfast today with some of the companies here. And the third mission that we had is to announce and to inform about this buyer trade mission that we have in Costa Rica. So 3 things in only 2 days. So I think it's been very busy.
And obviously, as you mentioned, the buyers
Trade mission.
thank you, is in September.
Yes.
And so it's essentially to get persons interested in traveling to Costa Rica so that they can see what all there is to offer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the Buyers Trade Mission is a mission that we have for, this is the 18th edition, 18 years. So it is an event that we have had for a long time. Since I have 15 years in working with this company or this institution,
Yeah.
I've seen it grow. At the beginning, it was about 20 importers from around the world, and really around the world was Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Chile. Now we can say it's around the world. We have around 350 buyers coming in from different areas, from different countries like Asia, North America, Europe, Caribbean, and South America. So we do have a representation of buyers and companies, distributors from around the world. And more or less, we're expecting this year to have about 500 exporters and producers and developers from Costa Rica. So it's going to be a really nice event. It is very successful and very important for Costa Rica and the region. Now, this is a specific event for importers and distributors. It isn't directed to exporters. We can address exporters' needs from Belize, for example, with other events or opportunities. But for this Buyers Trade Mission, the same name does say it. It's buyers for buyers. So.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that was really going to be the next point I wanted to look at. We've seen of recent where there is more interest in having trade, establishing trade between Belize and Central American countries. We have the Chamber of Commerce from Mexico coming.
Yes.
We've had other countries from Central America coming in, and the focus is on mutually having opportunities. In terms of opening up the market for Belizean producers and for those who have products or services or perhaps want to welcome investment opportunities, what's the relationship like at this point in terms of being able to facilitate that process?
Okay. I was talking with the ambassador what the policy of Costa Rica has been and has to be for the future. If we want countries to open their markets for our products, we have to open our markets. And so this has been the policy for Costa Rica. We want to welcome Belize products into Costa Rica. Our institution, because of how we're created specifically to promote trade overseas. So we would do agendas and business agendas for our exporters with importers in other countries like in Belize. However, when there is needs to export to Costa Rica, then what we have done is do some of the agreements that we have, like the Chamber of Commerce in Costa Rica. We work with, for example, Canada. I established a very nice relationship when I worked in Canada with the Embassy of Canada in Costa Rica. They have a commercial section, and a gentleman used to be a friend of mine that's now working in the Embassy of Canada. So we look for all those opportunities to be able to help and supervise the needs and the activities for the Belize companies that want to export to Costa Rica.
Yeah.
So they can still contact the embassy, they contact myself, and we will be able to direct the companies in the right way.
And while it's not your direct mandate, do you see opportunities?
Yes, I do.
In what areas?
Well, I've seen a lot of exports in the industry of the boats and repairs, and for some reason it's one of the major exports for Belize in Costa Rica. So that has been something that I'm going to look into. I believe there's a lot of that being done. I haven't seen so much. We have a program today to visit the supermarkets and see what are the products. But for example, There are sauces. You guys eat a lot of hot sauce, so
Yeah.
there's Grace Kennedy and there's other
Yeah.
producers, and so we do know about this company, and there's opportunities for them in Costa Rica. So I see even though the food industry for us is important, it could be very interested to have different products from Belize in Costa Rica. So I do see some opportunities there.
What has been perhaps the most noteworthy thing that you've learned so far on this particular trip in terms of your engagement with people who are looking at investment opportunities?
Regarding investment, I believe because Belize is known for its tourism, I believe you receive around 1 million or 1.5 million tourists a year. That's big numbers, and that's something that we want to look at. We don't see in the short term companies that have told us that we want to invest in Belize. The same the other way around. We have to first start with the base, which is having trade, and then the companies get interested, start investing, opening operations, or Belize going down, or us coming here. But I believe the investment will be in the area of tourism. I think that's one area that Belize can keep growing,
Yeah.
and I think that's interesting. There are franchise opportunities, having some chains of restaurants that have been in Costa Rica might be interested in Belize, and the other way around. So that can be something, franchising that we can look at.
Now, when you're looking at trade in terms of Central America, we talk about the fact that our connectivity makes it doable, and expanding the markets, especially for a small country like Belize. Now, on your side, you did talk about Belize being a small market, but yet you're
It's
interested.
small, but not small.
Yeah.
It's small as a population,
But it
as
has
a
a lot
region.
of tourists.
But the tourism is 1.5 million,
Yeah.
and so that's not small.
Yeah.
So you're looking with those kind of opportunities as well, to tap those as well.
Sure.
Now, we talk about Belize has always positioned itself, and you spoke about our geographic location as a gateway, even into CARICOM, etc. Is that also something that is on your radar?
It wasn't till this trip. I was talking with one of the businessmen that because of the relationship you have with the CARICOM, it could be interesting. We do have a free trade agreement with CARICOM ourselves, but sometimes it becomes difficult to enter all the markets. And so having somebody in Belize working with the CARICOM might be interesting. So it is on my radar now, and to look into it. I will go back to Costa Rica, see how the agreement that we have could be beneficial to work with Belize or directly with other CARICOM companies. But I believe if there's a company, an importer, that brings in products here and reships it to other countries in the CARICOM, it's very interesting. You would be able to be more successful to sell to these countries than ourselves, because you do speak a language easier than what we can do, and you will understand each other easier than what we do with the Caribbean. So maybe we're successful with Dominican Republic, but Trinidad, Tobago, Jamaica, all the islands, it's very different. The culture is different. You do have a similar, and you have the contacts, you have the relationships, and so that's important.
Itzam, you seem pleasantly surprised by your 2-day visit to Belize in terms of establishing these relationships. If somebody is watching this right now and perhaps is interested in seeing what Costa Rica has to offer, what's your advice to them at this point in time?
To participate in the Buyers Trade Mission, this is an event that we would organize business agendas in Costa Rica, where we would revise the appointments before you travel, so that you will have a business agenda with companies of your interest.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we would do, and make sure we don't want Belize businessmen to waste their time going down to Costa Rica just to know the country. We want business being done, and so we do have a job to do that.
Yeah.
If it's not the event, we can organize business agendas any time of the year. Yeah. There are no costs, since we're a government office. There is no cost. Yeah. There are costs for our people. Every business agenda is charged for our people, but not for the buyers. That's totally free. And to access, to contact the embassy of Costa Rica would have a lot of information, and they would send the contacts to us, and we would immediately contact the businessmen that would be interested.
And it's primarily importers or distributors that you're looking to be able to attend?
Primarily for this event, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has your engagement been primarily with private sector, and what has the connectivity been with the government arm that is similar to yours, Beltrade?
Beltrade. I met one of the gentlemen yesterday, and we were talking about different ways that we can collaborate. I mean, the idea that we have is, as I said, if we want countries to open their markets to our products, we have to open our markets. And we would perfectly work side by side with Beltrade. I believe it's a very active organization, and we'd be happy to work with them in Costa Rica to be able to bring in products from Belize too.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for joining us so that we could get some insight as to how things have been going with your particular trip. And obviously now people know that they can contact the Costa Rican embassy, that's in Belmopan,
yes,
to find out, especially if they're interested in accessing what Costa Rica has to offer. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, it's for a conversation with Oceana Belize on their upcoming media training, so stay tuned.